Double.
All right, here we go. Welcome to In the Paint Live on StreamYard and also YouTube. Today at 3 o'clock, I know normally this is not even the time that we come on normally, but today we're doing, obviously, because Super Bowl 55 is being aired today, played today by between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and also the Kansas City Chiefs. That goes down at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Rodney Jones, your host / moderator. Joining me is the man that created the show, Mr. Mark A. Cunningham, also known on here as Max 611, and also we have our boy formerly from Rochester. My man Chandler is in the house. How you doing tonight, Chandler?
I'm all right, man. Like I said, watching The Hobbit, waiting on this bullshit game.
Okay, and as you can tell, he's so excited to watch this game. He's just counting down the minutes, And of course, Max 611. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. We had to exchange our love-hate for each other backstage before the show. Is a notorious hater.
I'm a hater. Well, what else is new? Shut up. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a hater. That's just what I do. You understand? So where's the shock? You understand? Oh, I've been trailing these breadcrumbs for years knowing this guy. And it's like, oh my God, I'm shocked and chagrined. He's like this. No, this is not a shocker. This is just me. That's why you have me on In the Paint.
All right. I'm a low-key hater, though. But, that's why we work well together.
Exactly.
He was steamed at the dude in the chat who called him Santa Claus.
Well, damn, thanks a lot. That was supposed to be between us, and now I'm gonna get even more hate that if he's watching this or seeing this, that was supposed to be like behind the doors. Thanks for putting it out there. It's all good. I'll be looking for more commentary. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, gee, thanks a lot. Duh. All right. Well, guys, like I said, we're going to get into this, man. This is the only thing we're covering today. Like I said, 3 p.m. special edition. Yo, I got to tell you, I have to tell you, you already know my history with KC and their fans. It's not even, let me just back up a little bit. I'm not even mad at the team itself. It's those fans that drove me insane with the trolling. Okay. And I think that let me, not think too highly of the team. So the team is talented. They're ultra talented. I'll give them all the credit in the world. You understand? But at the same time, I am going to root against them today, even though I think they're going to win. But I'm hopeful that Tom Brady actually gets a 7th Super Bowl win. To be perfectly honest, listen. I like seeing history. I'm sorry, that's just me, and I know that probably upsets the great Max 611 because he hates anything Boston, Massachusetts. He hates it. So I understand that. That's why he's giving me that look right now. I wouldn't see Chandler's face, but he's off camera right now. That's all good. But I'm just saying, I actually want to see Brady get a 7th championship. What's wrong with that?
There's a lot wrong with that. The hell with Tom Brady, man. Nobody listen, man. Nobody trying to, listen to Tom Brady and 7 championships. Now they putting him on. He's the greatest athlete of all time. He's not even close to the damn greatest athlete of all time. First of all, that would be Serena Williams or Bill Russell. Let's just dead that right now. He ain't the greatest nothing of all time. He's great. Right. He might be the best quarterback. And by the way, they only saying that, you know what? Listen, man, I'm not rooting for nothing to do with Tom Brady. The hell with him.
Okay. I'm gonna assume Mac kind of echoes that same sentiment. Mac, are you there?
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Okay.
Trying to send an email to somebody who wants to join.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I was listening. Listen, I don't like that mofo Tom Brady.
Wow.
He could kick rocks with open-toe sandals.
Wow.
I do, however, with my New York for Boston hate. Yes, Bostonians, I don't like you people. I don't like none of y'all teams. I'm glad y'all get more snow than we do when y'all get snow. And F y'all, to the highest power. But no, he's one of the greats. I can't not say he's not one of the greats. And what he did this year, listen, dude threw for like 4,000 yards, 30-something touchdowns at his age.
Right.
I can't say nothing really bad about him as a player, but root against him, which I am, and I'm
Good
root
God.
for Kansas City, F Tampa Bay. That's how
Okay.
I feel.
Okay.
That's my word. You know what I mean?
Is that a Brooklyn? Is that an East New York thing? With the is that what that was? You trying to
Yeah,
emphasize your point?
that's that Brooklyn stuff. That we
I kind of
doing.
figured as much. I was like, "What the hell is that?" You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you honestly, there's a lot of different breakdowns in this. You understand? And I found very, very interesting, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
I think obviously one thing that we need to be concerned about is how the defensive play. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for sure that Steve, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo, he obviously has a history with Brady and defending
Right.
against him, and he knows him pretty well. I would say throughout the years, I'd have to just naturally assume that since he's been successful, especially in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. You know, so this is going to be very interesting how Steve Spagnuolo attacks or defends against Brady, Godwin, Evans, Gronk, Scotty
Right.
Miller, who's obviously Tom Brady's favorite deep ball threat. You know, and they've been successful in hooking up for big games. We saw that the last game in the NFC Championship game. You know, the long ball game with him and Scotty Miller. We saw that on evidence.
Right.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be interesting. I think with Bruce Arians, who's the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know in the last game, the NFC Championship against the Packers, he was talking about attack, attack, attack. Is he gonna? He will probably, and again, you don't quote me, I could be incorrect, but he will probably have that same philosophy going into this game: attack, attack, attack. Be aggressive. You understand? So if he is, and if he has that Tom Brady effect, you know, we might see KC actually lose this game. I think it's going to be a close game regardless. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be. I think it's a 3-point favorites for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll be honest with you. I think it'll be by 6. It might be something like 6 or 7. Maybe something to the effect of like 27-20 or 27-21. You know. See our boy Reginald McCoy, damn Brady. He don't let him front, folks. He loves Tom Brady. He's just going along with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Oh, who is this? Let's see. We got the mad scientist. All right, how you doing, brother?
Why are you smiling?
Because it's Super Bowl Sunday, baby.
Why are you cheesing? He put him on there. Nah, I'm joking.
All good.
What's up, Matt?
How you guys doing?
All right, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty dang good. If
All right.
I just wish the snow would go away up here in New Jersey, but
yeah, we don't have it much better up here in New York either. So I understand, man. You know.
Tell me about it. So what's going on, brothers?
Well, we just talking about the Super Bowl, man. You know, talking about just previewing a little bit here and there. You know, getting everybody's thoughts, my thoughts, Max. Well, you got to turn that down. Whoever has that on, yeah, that's fine. I know who it is. The great Mac, and no problem. Once again, we just here just kicking it about the preview about the Super Bowl 55, and let me ask some of your thoughts, brother.
You know, when after Championship Sunday a couple of weeks ago, my head dropped and I was like, oh my God, Tom Brady has got a home game in the Super Bowl playing in Tampa. Why? Why does it have to happen this way?
True.
But in all seriousness, this was the matchup that I actually picked when I was on another show doing predictions for the Super Bowl, because the guy is 43 years old.
Right.
The guy is a freak of nature. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. But there's one thing that nobody is really talking about that's kind of sort of been swept under the rug, and that's the Buccaneers defense. And I'll explain why. In the second half of the NFC Championship game, Brady really was crapping the bed. Let's call a spade here. He threw 3 picks in a span of, I think, like 10 minutes.
Right.
How many points did Green Bay, with the venerable Aaron Rodgers, mind you, score in those turnovers?
3.
3 points.
Right. Yes, sir.
With some really good field position to boot. So I look at it like this. I mean, everybody talks about Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, Sammy Watkins when he's healthy. You know, they have they'll light you up in a heartbeat.
Right.
You cannot sleep on Tampa Bay's defense. I got a funny feeling that David is going to cover Kelsey, try to be the blanket. He's not going to stop him, but he could possibly contain him. You have a couple of cornerbacks that can actually keep up with Tyreek Hill. Now, again, all it takes is like one of Hill's famous dekes, and that's it, game over. But you can chip him and slow him down a little bit. You know, you also have the interior of the line. You got Ndamukong Suh, who can wreak havoc on a Chiefs offensive line that is shaky.
Yes.
Very shaky. This is not the Chiefs offensive line from the last couple of years. They've had so many injuries this year. Look at the lineup that they're going in with in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Not one starter from the beginning of the year. So everybody's thinking, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if 65% of the people out there are saying right now that the Chiefs are going to win this game. And some of them may have even saying the Chiefs are going to run all over the Buccaneers. Guess what? The Buccaneers are winning today, people.
Uh-oh.
Final score. 27-21. It's going to be under this year. And what do you call it? And here's another good reason why. I can't see Brady lighting up the Kansas City defense. The Kansas City defense has been criminally underrated this year. Now, they have had some really bad games. And I mean bad games. But when the time came, you look at that Cleveland game in the playoffs, 22-17, and that's with Mahomes being out for most of the second half. That defense stepped up. You look at the AFC Championship game. That defense stepped up.
Right.
I can see them stepping up and slowing down the Buccaneers. But again, you look at the Buccaneers offense. You got Brady. You got Fournette. If they would just feed him the ball 20 times, please, for the love of God, feed him the ball 20 times. You have Mike Evans. You have Chris Godwin. You know, you have Gronk, and you have who I think is one of the unsung heroes of the offense, Cameron Brate. They have enough weapons on the other side to make the Chiefs defense stink and think a lot. You know, this is one of those games you can flip a coin and wherever it lands. But to me, just for the sheer fact that Brady's back in the Super Bowl, and just for the sheer fact that, you know, at 43 years old, he's still doing this at the highest of high levels. I love Mahomes. I think he's going to be better than most quarterbacks of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But you got to knock the kid. There's an old saying: in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
Well, let me stop you right there. Go ahead, Chandler.
Well, first of all, Mahomes right now is the man because he's the reigning Super Bowl champion. But secondly, the fact that people still have to say, gee, I wish they would run the ball more. Gee, I wish they wouldn't forget about this guy. Gee, I wish they wouldn't forget about that guy, gives lie to the statement that, they got so many. They still don't know how to use the weapons. Bruce Arians is still getting in his own way. And it wasn't so much the Bucs defense in that second half as it was poor offensive execution and a hell of a lot of drop balls by Green Bay. Wide open throws, drop balls. The Tampa defense didn't do a lot on those turnovers to stop Green Bay. Green Bay pretty much stopped themselves. That was just a poor job by the great Aaron Rodgers, by that offensive genius Matt LaFleur, who everybody kept giving credit to. But when the rubber came time to meet the road, as usual, Aaron Rodgers spit the bit. Green Bay spit the bit. But the fact that they still refuse to run the ball, in Tampa Bay speaks to the arrogance of Bruce Arians and the fact that his team has won in spite of him, not because of him. They have won in spite of him. Okay? Look at his record with quarterbacks. None of his quarterbacks, I think, except for maybe Brady, has ever thrown under 20 interceptions. None of them. None of them. And he's had some really good quarterbacks. This is in spite of Bruce Arians, not because of him. And he's going to be the reason they lose. Because you still have these weapons you're not utilizing properly. And everybody seems to forget that Kansas City has more than Tyreek Hill. They got McComb Hardeman. They got Marcus Robinson. They got Damian Williams. Kansas City actually can run the ball. So, okay, yeah, you bracket Tyreek Hill, and let's say you manage to cover Travis Kelce. Well, you still got 6 other guys offensively who can have a career day and blow you up. We saw what McComb Hardeman can do. We know what. Listen, nobody's mentioned his name. Le'Veon Bell has given them some really good production in key moments. Okay, the running backs, those running backs, as we saw last Super Bowl,
right,
will give you the business because it was a running back who actually should have won an MVP last year. Wasn't really Mahomes, it was running back, but of course they're not going to give it to a running back. And Kansas City actually utilizes all their weapons. See, that's the difference in these two teams. You have a coach in Andy Reid who has finally learned how to utilize all of his weapons, and you have a coach in Bruce Arians whose ego says, I have to be the reason we win, and he's going to be the reason they lose.
So let me say that.
Good, man. Good.
Kansas City's defense is better than when we see them play. Kansas City blows teams out, so their defense does give up points, but their defense is sturdy. The Honey Badger, he's going to play a big part in keeping Tom Brady at bay, and their defensive front line is better than the numbers say. And Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator, and the key to beating Brady is you got to put pressure on him. Spagnuolo's defense does do that, and he comes with exotic blitzes. He comes with blitzes from all over, and you gotta move Brady off of his spot. You gotta make the pocket uncomfortable, which is what Kansas City is gonna do, and their offense is just too good. I don't see Kansas City losing. I see it being competitive, but Kansas City is gonna win probably. To me, I think they're going to put a 40 spot on them.
Wow.
And Tampa Bay may score 27.
Wow. Damn. Okay. Mac, I just want to respond to you real quick.
Right.
In regards to Kansas City's defense and whatnot. And that's the fact that I'll just ask this question. Do you think it's more of the Spagnuolo effect than the individuals on the defense? Because I'm inclined to go with the effect that the schemes that, Spags comes up with. You understand?
Right. I agree with you. Yes, there is more of him scheming and him putting players in positions to succeed and do what he needs to do, as opposed to them having an overall superstar on their defense. And like I said, they play well in spots, and if they can make the pocket uncomfortable for Tom Brady, they'll win.
Can I say something before I head on out?
Oh, please.
Kansas City's defense was ranked 15th this past season.
Okay.
So you're talking about a defense that's right in the middle.
Right.
Not great, but not bad.
Right.
They do give up a lot of yards, though. It kind of reminds me of the Buffalo Bills defense of their Super Bowl years, in which they were known as bend but don't break. They'll give up the yardage from 20 to 20, but then they'll clamp down in the end. And we've seen that time and time again by this Kansas City defense. The problem, though, I have here is, yes, they have Honey Badger, and the defensive front four is pretty dang good. That soft underbelly in the middle scares the living daylights out of me. And this is why I brought up Gronk and Cameron Brate. I think you're going to see them be utilized a lot. And another thing is, I understand Chandler. I understand Bruce Arians outcoaches himself time and time again. We've seen it. I've lived it, especially when I watched the Super Bowl, when I was watching him with the Arizona Cardinals. I've seen he sometimes is too smart for his own good. A la, here's a name from the past, Mike Martz. So, but the thing here is, if Byron Leftwich has any say in the 2 weeks lead up, one thing I noticed in the NFC Championship game is when Fournette touched the ball, Green Bay had issues trying to contain him. For some reason, though,
right, and the other running back is good too, the backup.
To be honest with you, though, Ronald Jones, he's okay, but he's not the bowling ball that you need like Fournette is. I've been a big Fournette fan ever since his LSU days. Ever since he was like the stud coming out of Jackson for Jacksonville a couple of years. People seem to forget Fournette got hurt a couple of years, hence the reason why his production went down, hence the reason why Jacksonville got rid of him, and Tampa Bay got him for a pittance. And I got a funny feeling that Fournette, this game, is going to be Fournette, Gronk, and Brate are going to be key into the reasons why you won't see Kansas City's offense on the field that much.
Right. Well, like Chandler said, if Arians is smart, and
it's up to him.
Like you said, KC's defense is middling. They're near the bottom when it comes to giving up rushing yards. They rank 21st in rushing yards defensively. So it's what are you going to do? Are you going to go against their weakness, which is them? Is their, like you said, them being soft in the middle and you running the ball on them? Or are you going to throw the ball where they're a little bit stronger? And
that's the conundrum, because now here's where it gets deep, because now we all know that KC could put up points in a hurry. There's no question about that. You understand? They could just like light it up real fast. It gets to the point where if the Bucs are trying to run the ball, establish the run or whatnot, but they fall behind too much, and they have to be forced to throw the ball, I mean, what's going to happen? It's not going to be successful for them.
Right.
It's just not. They have to at least. I can't see them falling behind more than double digits. You know what I'm saying? And trying to stick with that run thing, because that takes time.
But you have to, though. But you have to. Or even if you get down 10 points, you still have to run the ball. Now, running the ball isn't always handoff, step back, put slam it into the running back stomach. You know what I'm saying? We got the long handoffs, which is a little short, behind the lines, a little short pass behind the line of scrimmage. Damn.
Okay.
You got the bubble screens. There's different ways to run the ball.
Okay.
But you have to run the ball, because that's the only way the play action is going to work. Play action don't work if you don't run. If you run the ball 5 times, ain't nobody biting on play action. You have to run. They have to run the ball 25 plus times if they're going to win this game. That's going to be the number.
And Chandler hits my thing on the head. Hence the reason why I said you need Fournette to touch the ball at least 20 times this game. You need to wear down that defense to the point where they're going to be beaten into submission by the fourth quarter, and what you're going to start seeing Fournette, instead of like getting like 3-4 pop, is going to get anywhere between 5 and 8 pop and possibly more. And Chandler's right again. When you have guys like Evans and Godwin and Gronk and Brate, you could run these like flat passes and bubble screens and stuff like that. There are ways to chew up the clock without getting into a high-pitched scoring battle with Kansas City.
Right.
We all know Kansas City can score in 1 or 2 plays. We've seen that time and time again. However, if they can't hit the big play, and if you try to grind them into your type of game plan, there is that distinct possibility that Andy Reid may run into the same situation that Bruce Arians will in, because sometimes Andy Reid, and we've seen it throughout before last year, we've seen it where Andy Reid outcoaches himself.
Yep.
Yeah, historically. Here's the thing, though. Tampa Bay's defense, very bad against the pass. They rank 21st in giving up yards, and they give up a ton of points, Tampa Bay's defense, even though they are number 1 against the run. So this sort of plays into Andy Reid's wheelhouse, but also he can't get too enamored with throwing those passes that he likes to do with Mahomes, and you utilize your running backs. Don't forget about them.
Right.
So
over on an underhand pass by Mahomes today.
I'll take anybody's money.
I say 15. 15. I say over 15.
No, when I say underhand, I mean we've seen where he plays the ball like a softball, and it's faster than some of his overhead passes.
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
His ability to extend plays and to improvise and make something out of nothing is what makes him so great. And he went to the right team and got married to the right coach in Andy Reid. Andy Reid utilizes his skill set to the best. And like y'all was saying earlier, Kelsey, Hill,
Watkins, the whole lot of them.
Their backup receivers are scary. I've watched Kansas City. It seemed like they're going to lose a game, and then within minutes they score 21 points, and now you're being blown out.
Look at what happened in the playoffs last year, and you what do you call it? You could see Mahomes like this, like okay, it's time. It's like flip the switch, and the next thing you know, I remember when I was watching the Houston Texans game last year. I turned my head. I was like making myself lunch, and I come back and I look at the score, and I'm like, I actually turned the channel. I looked at I was like, did I just see that? And I go back and I saw the score, and I was like, okay. Yeah. And then we have a football game, and boy, was it a football game. Pretty much torpedoed the Texans franchise for all we know. Game, so. All right, guys. I'll let you go back. Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
enjoy.
Shout out your content.
Yes.
Let the people know where to reach you.
Well, as everybody knows, I'm the mad scientist of sports. I used to have a podcast called the Mad Scientist of Sports. You can find my archived content on Blog Talk Radio. Yes, that's still a thing, people. But just type in the Mad Scientist of Sports. You'll find my archived content there. And as some people say never that I will return to the airwaves on either StreamYard or Zoom. It might happen in a not too distant future, but right now.
But haven't you been on some other people's shows? You can shout them out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have been on Don't Shoot the Messenger. I have been on Huddle Up Podcast, and I have been on WBLZ Sports a couple of times. But who knows? There might be a rebirth. I'm not making any promises. But there might be a rebirth.
Right.
Hopefully so.
You could also find me once in a blue moon right here on Independent Media with these guys.
That's
as much as sometimes we don't agree with each other, which is
I just don't like you, man. That's what it is. I didn't appreciate you coming here cheap. No, I'm joking.
By the way,
I'm joking, man.
Hey, all I know is again, Bucs win the Super Bowl. I gave you my score. It's going to be under. I'll be feeding my money to the machine pretty soon. But hey, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Nick, take care, brother. Thanks for having you on, man. Thanks again. All right. Ah, man, always good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who you got, Art?
Like I said, I think it's going to be a 6 point. I agree with Nick. You know what I'm saying? I said as far as the point differential being 6 points. And a matter of fact, I think he said the same score I said, 27-21. So with that being said, I'm hoping it's Tampa, but I think KC is going to actually win the game by that score, 27-21.
Are you looking very coach-like today with the headset and the turtleneck?
Here we go. Yeah, that's right. I had to do it. Super Bowl 55 look. You understand?
Yeah. No, we didn't talk about what happened with Andy Reid's son.
Yeah, no one's talking about that. Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about it, but they're
basically, they're glossing over it.
Mm-hmm. A child, a 5-year-old child sustained life-threatening injuries, and nobody wants to talk about it. Okay.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Chandler? If I know I had put it out there in the group. You understand? Because I heard about it, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell? Nobody's really discussing this." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they should. And this is another issue for the Reid family with you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, come on now, but nobody's talking about. But a 5-year-old girl, the bottom line is, 5-year-old girl has life-threatening injuries in the hospital, which is a damn shame.
Yep,
it's a damn shame. You understand? And Mac. I talked to you about this before, bro. Recently. It's a shame, and it kills me every freaking time when I hear these stories like this in regards to drunk driving. You understand?
Yep.
And it kills me because people already. This is not a shocker. People know this already before they even get behind the wheels and they're drunk. They've heard of stories. You understand? And now you go out there and do the same damn thing and cause nothing but grief and sorrow for this little girl's parents, her family. You understand? I just don't understand it. I don't understand the stupidity behind that. Why are these people still doing this?
The selfishness, man. The selfishness.
Come on.
And we lost somebody, a friend of ours, about a year and a half ago due to that. And that impacts it impacts me, and I know it impacts you, and it impacts
for sure
other people, because isn't he the son who's had problems before?
Yes. This is the same son that had the substance issues, same son that had some other police issues. The bottom line is, okay, yes, it hasn't been since I think around 2006, 2007. So it's been at least 10 years.
Clean and out of trouble that we know.
Well, exactly. So it's been at least 10 years that you've done something that came to the public eye.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about selfishness. It's about people thinking that I can do what I'm going to do because of who I am, and it's not going to happen to me, even though there's so much evidence to the contrary.
Right.
So much evidence to the contrary. But it's at the end of the day, it's selfishness, man. You know when you get behind the wheel when you shouldn't. Okay. I've done it. Did it for a lot of years in the service. And again, there was a time when we were growing up where if you came back from a weekend and you didn't have a drunk driving story, people thought something wrong with you. Okay, they was like, what's wrong with you? You ain't go out and get hammered this weekend. You ain't got to stir about how you couldn't find your car or you woke up on the side of the road. That used to be the norm. That is not the norm anymore. Right. So this is not okay. And the fact that they're not talking about, the fact that it's not even being addressed pisses me off the most, because the only thing I want to hear right now is what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do to Britt Reed, how they removed him from the organization, how he's been fired. And I ain't heard none of that.
And you won't. And you probably won't, which is sad.
Right. My brother from Brand Newbie, my brother Mark the Spark, is in the chat room. He said, poor Andy Reid on my Facebook live feed.
Poor Andy Reid. I don't even know where to go from that one. To be perfectly honest, I could give less. You know what? F it. Fuck it. I give less than 2 shits for Andy Reid. You understand? Wow. Yeah, your son. Nah, real talk. Your son is fucked up, and the key.
And you enable him.
Exactly. And is he still on the staff? He's still on the staff, right?
Yeah. They haven't mentioned that the fact that he's been fired.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So fuck him. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm being a little too over emotional, so to speak, because this really bothers me. This is one of the things that bothers me about this country and whatnot. And then see people keep repeatedly doing the same dumb, selfish shit time and time again, causing people pain. You understand? And grief. You understand? It's not right. You understand? Take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's like Mac, you had said, what's wrong with a fucking Uber? If you like that, what's wrong with taking a goddamn Uber? Why do you have to get on the road?
Right. My thing is this. I've had family members who battle with sobriety and drugs and that thing. None of them have ever had DUIs though. And they all, for the most part, drive. And I've been drunk before. I don't really like that feeling. And I wouldn't get behind the wheel. I mean, I remember one night I was driving with a female friend, and I noticed to my right, I looked over because she got a truck. So I'm looking down into the car, and I'm like, "Yo, you see that?" And she's like, "Well," I said, "Your homie is out," and he was swerving a little bit, and his head was like this. So she slowed up, let him get past us, and then we caught up to him again. And then she let him go again, and homie swerved, almost hit a bus. And she was like, you know what? I'm turning.
You don't want to be involved in that.
We're
Exactly.
getting off this block. And I pray that brother didn't end up somewhere on a slab, because as I looked, there was a point he was literally sleeping.
Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens.
And getting back to what you were saying, about Andy Reid and what Spark was saying, you've enabled your son far too long, because he's had multiple issues.
Thank you. This is not your first time offense, man. You understand?
Right.
You the father. You know what's going on.
Right. And this always happens during the Super Bowl. Somebody always gets caught out there. Like we had one guy who, I think Super Bowl was in New Orleans, and he got caught with hookers in a trap somewhere.
Right.
Trying to solicit.
Right.
Guys get drunk the night before the Super Bowl, or days before they party before the days before the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. This is, he made his resume better, Britt Reed. But now there's a stain again, and you impacted somebody's life, because there's two children who were hurt, one severely.
Yep.
So you should be fired. And I was reading reports when the story broke. The classic, we're looking into it. You're looking into it. The result is somebody in the hospital.
I'll probably get trashed again or trolled again by those fans in KC. Because of my take on it. You understand? Because like I had pointed out about Tyreek Hill years ago, and now with this bullshit,
right?
They're gonna get mad at me and whatnot if I tweet something about it, and they're like, "Oh, here they come, only because the fact they don't want anything to ruin their chance at their organization winning the Super Bowl. So that's where we placing our priorities now. You understand?
Right. And
something, you know what I'm saying? Something so fucking superficial as a trophy than a human life, let alone a little kid's life.
Right.
That hangs
what
in
was
the
our
balance.
stance on Tyreek Hill? He shouldn't be, they just let him come back and play after he abused his kid and his woman. Just how the NFL does. They gloss over children being whipped and physical domestic abuse on women.
Well, one more thing, Mac, before I break out and we end this, man, if you don't mind. One more last thing, man. This is why, I in our group, okay, and I'm talking about on Twitter, the RT group that we're part of. I had one of the brothers when we was discussing about the recent abuse case with this guy Matthews.
Right.
You understand, from Seattle. And he said, I'm glad Chad Wheeler, thank you. I'm glad that you guys are covering this because nobody else really is. Right. He said, I'm glad we're talking about it. And again, we talk about stuff like this. This is why, and this is like I'm not even gonna say shameless plug, but it is what it is. This is why you guys that are watching need to keep supporting us. Keep spreading the word about us, because we cover stuff that these mainstream fuckboys don't. Right. You understand? Right. And we give it to you realistically. There's no hidden agendas here. There is none. You understand? Right. So for those that keep watching, keep participating with us, I got so much love for you. You know, it's not even funny. You understand? Because I feel you guys, and I love the support that you give us. So keep doing that. I implore you, because these ESPNs, these Fox News, they're just going to give you fluff. They're not going to give you real shit like In the Paint does. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, So I had to get that out there, because here we go again, covering topics that these mainstream BS platforms don't.
Right. Remember what I texted you earlier? Currently trending for ITP on our YouTube channel, In the Paint Media Group. 7 years ago, we talked about Fallon Fox, the transgender
Right.
MMA fighter and how it's wrong. You know, we getting off the subject of the Super Bowl and the NFL.
Sorry.
All right. What it is. We talked about that 7 years ago and how wrong it was for Fallon Fox to be fighting women.
Right.
When she was formerly, you know, she trans from a man to a woman, and it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up and see that video is currently trending, and
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, those that have watched that clip, we thank you. And
Right.
those, you know, we've been getting responses in our response box.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
support us.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the In the Paint YouTube channel. It's called In the Paint Media Group.
Mm-hmm.
Keep listening to us. We bring, like R said, we bring it to you real. We talk about everything.
Exactly.
Yes, we will cover the Super Bowl and talk about stats and the superstars and all of that. But we also come at it from a human side that nobody else does. And
there you go.
That's what we do here. It's the realest show in sports.
That's right. All right. Well, with that being said, I think we're going to end it. Listen, you guys enjoy Super Bowl 55.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate that. Don't forget the chips, like Marshawn Lynch. Don't forget the chips.
Beast mode.
You know what I'm saying? So enjoy 55, and hopefully the team that you're rooting for wins. And just enjoy and have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Chandler, thanks for being with us tonight, brother. Well, today's
Thank you.
All right.
all right.
Peace.
That's it. Peace out.